Hello, folks. I am Ed Overstreet, and we are back imaging the sun. And so let's take a look at it. Alrighty. We are currently looking at a live view of the sun through the Solar Scout, a 60 millimeter refractor from Daystar filters. And there is a lot going on with the sun recently. And if you follow space weather, and I did put a link to Dr. Scov's YouTube channel. And if you follow her, you'll get a fascination really for the dynamics of the sun and its impact on us, weather-wise, grid-wise, uh, polarity-wise, aurora-wise, everything that seems to be tied to our very existence somehow or another is affected by space weather. So currently, I've been imaging all morning, and I thought I'd go live and kind of show you what I'm looking at. I think this is 13. I've already forgot. Let's go over and find out. 13,291 or 297, and there's several of these that are producing flares that are kind of bombarding us right now, and it's going to have an effect on us. How severe? Nothing earth-shattering, but figuratively speaking. But it's just a lot going on. So I'm going to move some windows around here. Let's go over to her website. This is Dr. Scov's website, and she goes live every day, and you can check it out. This is from yesterday, and check out uh, her her interpretation of what's going on, and she's brilliant. She absolutely delivers an understanding that I even can buy into of what's going on in the sun. There's obviously a lot of technology and terms. I have no idea what they mean, but I get the gist of what's happening. And she's also turned me on to several websites. Hang on a minute, I'm still moving windows. This website right here, I'll put a link. It's a pretty long link, but I'll copy and paste that to this YouTube channel. But you can connect on these or click on these, and if you're interested in knowing what these sunspots are, and I am, and their development over, in this case, since May the 5th through May the 11th, and it categorizes exactly what they are and what's going on. It's a real cool website. You can toggle through these and toggle through these options. There's just a wealth of information, a lot of which I'm not going to understand, I would imagine, unless you are a solar physicist and or weather, I don't know, guru on the sun. The terms probably will escape you as well. But this is a 13297 that for me, this is the same. This is right here, 13297, and then this is, I think, the 13. I don't know. Let's go look again. I've already forgotten. 13297 and 13296. These multiple spots over here in 13293. So then, if you go over to the NASA solar website and let's go to daily movies, and let's click on yesterday because we won't have today's up yet. and that would be the ninth, and submit. And I like 171. If you click on 171, that's the hydrogen alpha. Then you can see this is the 13297 and the other trio. And there's some flaring going on over here as well. So this is what has me online today looking at the sun and taking images. So voila. All right, let's go back outside, and we're now still live, unless I've been disconnected. Looks awful stable. Let's see if we can move them out. Let's move them out north just a little bit and recenter that sunspot. There we go. You got to manually guide, and then we're going to need to go west to 10. I'm going to go ahead and take a capture of, say, 200 frames. And this morning earlier, there was a filament that stretched out across the surface. My goodness, it 2, 3, 400,000 miles. It was a huge, and it came and went. And I only had regrets that I didn't and wasn't taking a time lapse, because that would have been a great capture to have a video. And it did this over a period of, say, an hour, where it just developed this long. You can see the remnants of the flare, but it may pop up before I sign off this morning. But at any rate, it is a piece of work. It sure is. While we're outside, or while we're looking at a live view of the sun from the telescopes that are outside, I'm going to raise the exposure and show you what's going on in the rim. I'm going to raise it to about there and then take the gain up some. And so we have some flaring on the surface, on the rim of the sun, that we would be able to photograph. Let's go the other way. But not a whole lot. But that's kind of what's happening out there. Sure is. All right, let's bring this back down to 0, and I'll bring this back down to about a little more maybe. And let's recenter, and let's take another quick capture of 200 frames. And then I'm going to switch telescopes, and I'm going to bring up the Astrotech refractor. It's a 65 EDQ, about 320 millimeters. I think it's what it is. And I'm going to take a closer look, because it gives you a much narrower field of view. And I'm going to change that now to ASA 174. We're too bright. Let's bring the gain down some, and the exposure up a little more. And then let's navigate over there. Okay, this is the 297, 13297, and this is 13296, I think. And We'll brighten that up just a tad more. And see if we can improve the contrast by manipulating this histogram. And we may need to adjust the focus some. Thank you, Veradis, for the comment. I'm glad I can share. I am too bright with my histogram, so I'm going to have to bring this down. There's the histogram, and then I'm just going to have to bring this back up so you can see what's going on. But this is the 13297. This double. Yeah, 13297, and then 13296 and 13293 or are these um, off to the side right here, 13296 and 13293, and this is 13297, and this is the one that's really raising Cain. I think she said um, they're keeping an eye on it as the measurable elements that create the continuous flaring towards us had really picked up yesterday, and that's the only way I know how to explain it. But this thing is kicking butt, is what she said, and so we may have auroras that we didn't have as a result. We may have some issues with satellite, and she did say, this is Dr. Skav, she did say that the AVF, the aeronautics world, should be paying attention to flying in the high and the low latitudes because of the magnetic fields at the poles that will be affected by this. But now this morning, earlier, this flare was way out there. As a matter of fact, I brought one image up. Let me see where it is. Okay, well, I took one image with the Solar Scout earlier, but this was after the flare, and this is sort of what it looked like. But that flare went way over here, and anyway, this is a rough, quick edit. I wanted to see what I was looking at, and this was taken with the Solar Scout, not with the optics I currently have up. So let's go back out live and bring up SharpCap. And let's go ahead and change this to the Solar AT Astrotech. And this would be the second run. And I'm going to actually, I want to see what's going on the rim. So let's frame this a little differently. Let's bring this over and show more of the rim. Stop about there. And then let's overexpose this. So we do have some rim, not much, some flaring going on. So let's bring it back down to about there. And let's okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a capture of about 1,000 of these. The wind is blowing quite a bit outside. As a matter of fact, while that's taking those pictures, I'll bring up my cameras that are outside, And I think I will. There we go. I have an umbrella. Well, you can't be able to see it. These are two piers, and I have two telescopes mounted here, but the solar setup is over here underneath the umbrella. But the wind's really been kicking up, and but over here to the right is a tripod mounted. It's an AVX mount, and it has the Astrotech 65 EDQ. But this will give you an idea of the sun. I mean the wind. Have I lost my mind? The wind, and there's my little wind turbine out there spinning around. So let's go back and check out the sun. So we completed this capture, and what I want to do real quickly is take a flat, and then I'll process this one, and then we'll take a trip around the sun and see what else we can find. So let's let me recenter this. Oop. And I'm going to stop it about right there. And I'm going to defocus about 1,000 steps. And I'm also going to bring the exposure down to about there. And let's make it 8.5. All right, and then I'm going to take, let's call this flat AT for the Astrotech. And let's quick capture about 200 frames for this flat. And that's all we need is one flat. So let's bring up Astro Auto Stacker, and let's go to this external drive attached to. Okay, you can see I've done a lot of so far this morning, a lot of captures for these folders. I want to open up this flat, and I want to go to image calibration, and we're going to create a new master flat. I'm going to go back to solar, and I'll save it in this folder, and I'm just going to call it AT master flat. That's good enough. Then I want to bring up, after this finishes, the image I just took, and we'll process that. And we'll let's see, I went with AT right here. There it is. And we can make this a little bigger. And the box is at a good place for referencing. Let's go ahead and analyze. I've got a very slow computer that's tied to this. So let's analyze it. And while that's going, let's go back outside and let's, I don't know, did I go out or did I go in when I defocused? I must have. Went out. All right, so this ought to do it. Nope. This ought to do it. Okay, so we're in the ballpark. Let's Let me fix my histograms here. And let me also zoom in just a little bit and try to see if I can't on this sunspot and try to get a better focus. Let's brighten it up a little bit. Now let's go down and try 10 steps out. May have been a little better. That isn't. Let's go in 10. Let's go in another 10. That's the right direction. But the scene has gotten worse. I'm going in and out of focus. Try another 10. Nope. Let's come back out this way. I'm going to leave it at that. And for now, let's go back out and adjust our histogram some. And now let's go back to auto and take a trip around the sun and see what we can see. Of course, that's the very active region of the sun. I'm going to speed this up to 8 times sidereal. Not a lot going on here. Let's see. These two are over here, 1302 and 13301. Yep. Okay. I need to know that when I process this image. Let's bring up and let's go down further. There's a wicked looking filament that's had and of course we're now looking at, oh, here's the filament back. It's coming back that I was telling you about. That thing has been going El Nutso all day, but it's coming back again. Isn't that wild? That's what's happening. And if you consider, you could probably fit 3 or 4 Earth-sized planets inside this cooled area of the photosphere. That would fit inside that. Isn't that amazing? And then this flare, and it's dying down now. But when a bird, let's so we're kind of back where we started. That is so fascinating to me. Okay, so we've gone around the sun looking at the photosphere, let's look at the rim. And to do that, I'm going to reset the reset the histogram and bring up the gain, and just so I can see what's, can't even hardly speak, see what's going on the rim of the sun. So let's go this way. Now we've got some, it doesn't look that remarkable, but when you post-process this, that can look pretty impressive. So that's notable. And we got some, oh, we've got some flaring going on now. Let's, ooh, that's pretty good. So we've got some nice flaring down here and along this. I wonder, I'm going to come back to this. I wonder if there's any sunspots in this area that would make this a good image. Uh, so yeah, we've got some stuff down here too. So this is pretty active down here on the rim. Um, let's bring the sun back down. Let's go over just a little ways where we started from. All right, so let's see what's going on here. Got my fingers crossed and hoping that we've got some kind of activity on the surface so that we can get a good rim shot and a good surface shot. Kind of framing this now. All right, now let's take the gain down to 105. I'll just type that in, and this down to about 11. Not a thing. I could, well, fiddle diddle. Fiddle diddle diddle. The only thing that might work, and let's try it. Let's move the sun down a little bit. So I've got this. And I've got these sunspots right here. And I wonder if there's anything now on the rim. So let's go to 140 and, oh, say 20. Nah, there's nothing really there. Oh, yes, there is. Oh, just didn't go far enough. Okay, good. All right. Let's go back to 105 and 11. Okay, we're going to take this image. To do that, I'm going to go down to 0.08, not 0.08, 0.8, not 0.8, 8 point. Am I losing it? All right, let's go to 9. I'm watching this histogram down here. I want this line to be about right there. That's too much. Oh, I got long. This crazy. All right, let's go. 9. Get out of the LX mode. There you go. All right, let's take a picture. Quick capture. Let's get. I'm gonna get 1,000 frames here, and while that's taking that picture, I'm gonna go back to AutoStackered and let's place a grid. I'm gonna use 104, which means my boxes, my sample boxes, are going to be no. I'm going to use 48 for this, which means my sample boxes are going to be 48 pixels by 48 pixels. And I'm going to keep about 30%, and let's stack. And while that's doing that, I'm going to head back to this live view, and I'm going to probably should I take another? Should I take another? Let's process these first, and then we'll decide. Back out to, again, this is a slow, it took a minute to do surface stabilization. Come on. Well, let's, I want to process this image too. Let's just head on back over. Let's take one more. This time, let's just take 500. And then let's head out. I forgot to change the name. It's all going to be in the flats folder. Yeah. Yep. He'll finish before dark. This is a 15-year-old laptop. I have 3 telescopes outside year round, and they're not in a dome, and they're not in a roll-off. Let me stop the winds. That camera outside's still on. Let me turn that off. Isn't that better? Why didn't I do that earlier? Okay. Oh, we're about done. Hey, let's see what this image looks like. So let's bring up IMPPG. Let me get rid of, let me reset all these settings. I don't want to save that. Save everything, reset everything, and then let's open. That image I took. I may have been just a tad bit too bright. I want to edit and select and process all. I don't want to work on just an area. I want to work on the whole thing. Let's make an anchor point and drag this up over this histogram. And let's play around with this and see if we can bring out anything on the surface. Bring this up. It's a bad image. Let's bring up the convolution to about 2.4. And let's bring up, I normally don't do this at all on an image I want to keep. I do all this in Photoshop or PixInsight. But just to see what I've got, because I'm not going to save this image. I want to sharpen things up. There's evidently some more activity up here. There's not a whole lot on the rim, but boy, is that some active area. And when I took this, there was no flaring at all. And that was just a few minutes ago, and it's already started back up. Cool. All right, let's go back out to AutoStacker. And this time, let's open this most recent one that I took. And if you remember, I saved it in the flats folder because I forgot to rename it. So it's in, and there it is. So let's take that one and see all the dust. Let's load our master flat and get rid of all that debris. There it is. Watch it go away. Bang, it's gone. So let's move this reference box, control click, so that I can get this these sunspots in to help AutoStacker stack. And let's analyze. And let's go back outside while it's doing its thing. And let's, oh, the filament is really back now. So cool. It's still, I don't think it's as, it might be, I don't think it's as long as it was, but man, now but it's back. So I'm going to go ahead and change the name here to, we're going to call this the third run, create another folder. Let's take 1,000 now. Let's go back to AutoStacker, and this should be getting close to a lot of people will scrub through their video. That's not a bad crop. I lost a little bit down here and a little bit here, but it was moving so much I thought in the stacking I was going to have a larger crop. So I lost some sky, but that flare was about right here if my memory serves me. We'll find out. So let's place a we took 1,000 frames. Oh, we don't need, let's say 15%, top 15%. Let's set our sample points at 48. And I'm gonna go back to 104. That's good. It's, and let's take another. Well, the flare's gone. So you can kind of see what I'm talking about. It's faintly there, but the image I got, it's really there. So let's take one now when it's only faintly there. Let's bring this thing down, or the sun up a little bit here, and center it in that sunspot. It's got my reference point now. All right, let's capture another 1,000 frames. And let's go back to AutoStacker. And we're nowhere along. Getting close. Bingo. All right. Let's go to IMPPG file, open, and solar. So we got flat 15%. There's the image. It's going to pick up the same settings I had last time, which will be wrong, but I'll manipulate them because I want to get this. I know, well, let's edit, select and process all. And let's drag this up and this down. It's going to be a little tough to bring this out. It's there. What I try to do is when I'm doing these, I try to spend a lot of time on this curve. I want the sun to look spherical, so it'll be darker here, and then it gradually gradient gets brighter, but not so bright that it blows out. I'll be cropping some of that. By the way, this is the flare that's already disappeared coming from spots which were over there, but this is the flare I've been paying attention to. I'm going to have a hard time bringing that prom out. Maybe. Yep. Well, I saw it. I know it's there. It's in that mix somewhere. But anyway, let's go back outside on another day. Uh, and that flare is no longer there. So, well, there you have it, folks. I'm going to be shutting this down, and I've got grass to cut this afternoon, and I'm going to image tonight. We have some clear skies promised. That doesn't mean it's going to happen, but they're promised. Counting on it. And I want to pick up some more M101, and that's the plan. So I will catch you guys later. Have a great rest of the day.